the most important things that we're reminded by Rosh Chodesh is that Hashem has His own timing. And His timing is not always the same thing as our timing. If you look in the book of Exodus, Parashat Bo, Parashat Bo, chapter 12, we see that Hashem Yitbarach gives us the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh well before we get the Ten Commandments, before we get Shabbat, before we get all of 613 mitzvot, we get Rosh Chodesh. What's the big deal? What's the rush? What's such a big deal about this Rosh Chodesh? Beginning of a month. Wow, that's the mitzvah, that's the first mitzvah you want to give us. Maybe you want to give us Shabbat. Shabbat's the foundation of the Torah. Chazal says a Jew that doesn't keep Shabbat is considered 100% an idol worshiper. That's a big mitzvah. Give that number one. Why don't you give Brit Milah? Brit Milah, that's one of the covenants. Give Tefillin, give kosher, give Tarat Mishpacha. If a woman is not willing to keep Tarat Mishpacha, the husband is not only allowed to divorce her instantly, but she doesn't get the Ktubah. Tarat Mishpacha, without Tarat Mishpacha, there's no marriage. Why don't you make that the first mitzvah? No. He says here, Rosh Chodesh. Why Rosh Chodesh? So Chazal explains to us that in the times of the Greek persecution that we had, Yimach Shemam v'Zichram, they, unlike the Romans that were trying to destroy us as people, the Greeks were trying to purely just destroy the religion. They even told us, listen, we'll pay you money to leave Judaism. We'll make you governors. We'll make you politicians. We'll make you whatever you want. Just stop being Jewish. We didn't listen, so they started forcing us to do it. And by forcing us, they made us stop keeping certain mitzvot. They outlawed a few mitzvot. One of the 3 mitzvot that they decided to outlaw, the celebration of Rosh Chodesh. So the Greeks knew some Torah here. They weren't just ignorant people. They decided to outlaw Rosh Chodesh. Why outlaw Rosh Chodesh? Because Rosh Chodesh is a reminder that everything has its time. Even though Hashem told us to celebrate Pesach, He didn't say just celebrate Pesach whenever you feel like it. He said it's Chag HaAviv. It has to be in the spring. So you can't just decide to celebrate Pesach in December. He said Shavuot has to come 7 weeks plus 1 day after Pesach. You can't just decide to celebrate Shavuot on the 3rd day of Pesach because you're so excited and zealous. Or celebrate Shavuot 6 months after Pesach. You can't just do Hanukkah in the middle of the year just because you feel like it. Everything has its time. Why does everything have its time? Hashem says, you need to connect to me the way that I know is the best way to connect. There's certain times of the year that require a specific type of connection. There's a daily connection that you do with going to pray every day. You have Shachrit, you have Mincha, you have Arvit, you have maybe perhaps your own personal prayer that you do if you do Bodedut or any personal prayer. But that's your daily. On top of it, you have your Limud Torah. Anytime you learn, you connect to Hashem. You have your day-to-day stuff. According to the Ben Ish Chai, if you study Torah on Shabbat, it's worth 1,000 times more than the Torah you study on a weekday. Ben Ish Chai, Shana Shniya. This is a very special day. But he says, even then, it's not Pesach. It's not Yom Kippur. It's not Rosh Hashanah. That has a different time. That has a different time. And you have to know that that time, Hashem put it there for a certain reason. So when the Goyim, the Greeks, decided to remove Rosh Chodesh, what were they really trying to do? They're trying to remove the Hebrew calendar, the biblical calendar. Because they knew that without us celebrating the holidays at a specified time, we can't celebrate them. Which means that we can't have this connection with Hashem Yitbarach. We missed the whole connection. Judaism, Hashem Yirachem, is gone. And this is the reason why Hashem decided, He said, before I give you the details of everything that you need to do, all the mitzvot, all the halachot, all the wonderful holidays, all of the everything and anything, you have to know rule number 1. Kol davar beito. Everything has a specific time. Now, why is this so important to us, even on a day-to-day basis? We're not celebrating Rosh Chodesh every day. Because you see, many times people get very, very upset when Hashem doesn't dance to their tune. They did Teshuva 6 months ago, they already think they should become Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Eddie Lampert all in the same bank account. On top of that, the mini Moshe Rabbeinu, and married to the greatest human being that ever lived after them. Why? Because they see keeping Shabbat 6 months. And if everything doesn't work out that way, like, I don't know if this religion thing is working for me. First and foremost, you have to understand, Hashem doesn't work for you. It's a very, very important rule to know. He does not work for you. He's not here to serve you. It's the opposite. You're here to serve Him. Second of all, just like He had patience for you for 30, 40, 50, 60 years until you finally did Teshuva and finally started keeping one real mitzvah, and He didn't kill you like He was supposed to according to His Torah. He said, yes, and someone's Mechalel Shabbat, mot yumat. Could have killed us a long time ago when we did the first Chilul Shabbat. But He gave you more times and more time and more time and more time because He knew that at 36 years old, you're finally going to do Teshuva. At 56 years old, you're going to finally do Teshuva. So He gave you time. Now you're complaining about Him after you only giving Him 6 months? So we have to adjust our clocks a little bit. The second and even more important thing is to understand that Hashem has a different clock than we do. Meaning that He's only going to give us what we need, when we need it, and not necessarily what we want when we want it. And there's a very big difference between the two. You take a little kid, you take one of the kids to the store, and they want the candy. Said, Ima, I need it. No, you don't need it. You want the candy. You're going to survive even without the candy. The guy passes by a car lot. Oh, I need the Ferrari. No, you don't need the Ferrari. The little Tus is also going to get you to work. The little Hyundai is also going to get you to work. You don't need the Ferrari. You don't need the Range Rover. You don't need to spend $150,000 on a car. Oh, this guy, one of my students yesterday, God bless him, he loves money so much, mamash makes my heart break. That he has this disease of loving money so much, but there's other Hashem, hopefully he'll get over it. He tells me, watch, I'm going to have a $10 million house. I said, what do you need a $10 million house for? A nice little house for a couple $100,000, I don't know, wherever you live in the world. Fit your family fine. What do you need a $10 million house for? No, I need to have this. Shtuyot, nonsense, show off. I need. It's not what you need. You need a roof over your head, you need food, you need to breathe, clean air. Very limited needs. So Hashem gives you what you need when you need it. Once in a while He'll give you what you want too. But sometimes what you want is bad for you. So Hashem is not going to give it to you. But as Rabbi Akiva said in Gemara Masechet Brachot, everything that the merciful one does, He does for the best. Meaning that even though Hashem can take you from point A to point B in an infinite amount of ways. He could take you by a plane, He could take you with a car, He could take you with a rocket, He could take you just flying, He could take you on the wings of some really big eagle, He could take you in a car, He could take you on a motorcycle, He could take you from point A to point B, infinite amount of ways. He doesn't need my ideas to help Him. But He's going to take you in the best possible way. Meaning that anything and everything that ever happens in your life only happened because Hashem signed off on it. It's not that He necessarily wants it to happen, but He willed it to happen. And there's a very big difference between the two. People think, wait, if Hashem makes everything happen, then, and he says at the same time that he's merciful, why did he let the Holocaust happen? What, Hashem wanted the Holocaust to happen? No, he didn't desire for the Holocaust to happen. He didn't desire for Churban Beit HaMikdash, Rishon or Hasheni to happen, or the pogroms, or the inquisitions, or anything else that we had. He didn't desire, he didn't want it to happen, but it needed to happen, and therefore he willed it to happen, meaning he allowed it to happen. It cannot happen without Hashem allowing it to happen. Nothing in the world can happen without Hashem allowing it to happen. Hashem has to sign off on every single breath that comes in and out of your lungs. Every leaf has to ask permission from Hashem Yitbarach before it falls off the tree. Can I fall now? No, not yet. Can I fall now? No, not yet. How many leaves does a tree have? Thousands and thousands, and every one of them has to ask Hashem, can I fall now? No. Now? No. Now? No. He won't fall until Hashem says, okay, now. Now you can fall. So if Hashem worries about every hair on your head, and every leaf in a tree, and every little breath that you take, what do you think? He missed out on the Holocaust? He missed out on some inquisition? He missed out on some election? What, he didn't know? Somebody beat him to it? No, Hashem signed off on it. And there's reasons for why he did it. And Rabbi Akiva says, the reason must be good. Ultimately. Even though it looks like an error. Even though it looks like a disaster. Even if it's painful. To see death, to see trauma, to see all types of horrible things in life is difficult. I have one student in India, Hashem Elachem, her daughter died not too long ago. Every day the woman doesn't stop crying, and I cry with her whenever I can. Whenever I hear it, I cry with her. It's heartbreaking. Girl is 7 years old. What are you going to do? What are you going to tell her? It's going to be okay? What's going to be okay? The kid died. What are you going to tell her? It's going to go away? No, it's not going to go away. The only explanation that's soothing is there must be something good from this. How? I don't know. I'm not God. I'm not God. But Hashem signed off on it. And eventually you're going to see the benefit out of it. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not even in this lifetime. But eventually you're going to see everything is for the good. You see that your daughter finished her tikkun, she's in Gan Eden right now. You're suffering because you're missing out on her. You're missing out on seeing her grow up, play with your other kids, hang out, grow up, get married, have kids. You're missing out on that adventure. But if you really knew, for sure, you saw like a little visual. Hashem gave you Ruach HaKodesh, you saw a visual. My daughter is playing in heaven with Rabbi Akiva. And all the Chachamim, and all the Tzaddikim, and all the Tzaddikot. She's hanging out, she's having fun. She's enjoying eternity. You're going to still be upset? If you love her, mapitom. You're not going to be upset, because you know she's in Gan Eden. What do you want for her? You want good for her. She has good. She's better than you. You're in a tzara, you're in a problem, not her. She's in Gan Eden. So Rabbi Akiva tells us one of the secrets. Everything must be good, even if you don't understand it. Now, amazing story I heard actually today or yesterday from Rav Ephraim about Rav Levi Gloiberman, was also called Ayanuka. He was a big Talmid Chacham of Rabbi Israel Mistalin. And one day, he had some pain in his leg, and they decided to take him to the hospital. Moments later, they said, listen, you have a serious problem. You got to cut off your leg. This is a few hundred years ago. This is not a... I'm sorry, less. It's previous generation. Different story. They went to him and they said, we have to amputate your leg. It's a big deal. They go, surgery, they cut off the leg, and the family's waiting for him to recover. And they overhear the doctors, and the main doctor comes in, and he looks at the file. What is this? No! Wrong guy. You're not supposed to cut off his leg. You're supposed to cut off the other guy's leg. The family heard this. They said, do we tell him? Do we not tell him? They already cut it off. What are you going to do about it? So they all came in not knowing what to do, but one of the young ones that doesn't have the greatest midot in the world decides to tell the rabbi, Rabbi, you know, the doctor made a mistake. He wasn't supposed to cut off your leg. And then a whole family starts riling up. No, he did it. We're going to sue. We're going to do this. I can't believe it. What's going to happen? And Rabbi Levi Bloomberg puts his fingers like you're supposed to. The reason why Hashem designed your fingers exactly to fit your ears, so you don't listen to Lashon Hara or Kfira. If you notice, your fingers fit your ears exactly. They don't fit my ears or his ears or somebody else's ears. They fit your ears exactly perfect so you can block your hearing. Why? So you don't listen to any Kfira, to any heresy, to any idol worship, to any Lashon Hara. So that's what he did. He put his hands, he shut his ears. He said, Rebbe, what are you doing? He said, my Rebbe told me that the words that you're saying are the words of kfirah, the words of heresy, the words against God. If you're saying that the doctor made a mistake, you are a kufir. I keep Shabbat, I keep kosher, in the house, and outside the house. Kufir? Because you're kufir. Why am I kufir? There's no mistakes happen in the world. No mistakes happen in the world. If Hashem allowed someone to cut my leg, that means it was supposed to happen. Why? I don't know. But it was supposed to happen. There's no mistakes. Everything and anything in the world that happens must be signed off by Hashem Yitbarach. It doesn't happen without it. It cannot happen without it. And he says, anyone that says otherwise is a kofir. And you have a serious problem because anyone that's a kofir, according to the Rambam, they have no share of the world to come. It's a very big problem. So for any of those people that are having a hard time understanding Hashem's timing, it's time we start realizing that it's not necessarily about understanding Hashem's timing. It's more about understanding our own limitation to understand Hashem's reasoning.
I've heard enough. New arrival screams echoing through the hallway to know that this ain't good. Once they pass them through the infierno, they don't come back. It's enough to make you go crazy.
Do not think we fear you, Spirit. We know your power is born of evil. This is your last night in the land of the living. You understand me, malevolent demon?
very cave you fear possesses the cure you seek. Go within. Just know, once you cross that threshold, there is only one way out.
There was a rich family that lived here called the Hetheringtons, and unfortunately, their daughter passed away of a heart attack inside the house. Basically, they were so devastated that they reached out to people claiming to be psychic mediums. They actually weren't psychic mediums. They opened up a total of 11 portals inside this house and invited spirits and entities from all different kinds of dimensions.
Well, I think there are certain pieces of evidence that there is an afterlife.
Resurrection of the dead is affirmed pretty clearly in the Talmud and the Midrash.
To be honest with you, to give this lecture is a nightmare. If it was up to me, I wouldn't. There's going to be some graphic details.
This place is a maze.
That person after death went to a place called Sheol.
This is by far the largest near-death experience study that has ever been conducted.
People go to a place and they experience weird things. And sometimes they actually will see a character of some type. Well, where did that come from?
I don't know why that one chain is swinging back there.
They may describe feeling profoundly peaceful, seeing a bright, warm, welcoming light. Some people describe watching doctors and nurses working on them with incredible accuracy.
Next thing I knew, I was above my body watching the operation.
How long did you feel like you were gone?
I went to a place of timelessness. And so what that means, it could have been a second, could have been 5 minutes. I don't know.
Can you imagine waking up from your sleep and not being able to move?
As I'm lying there, I realized that there's an evil presence next to me.
Do you believe that angels, demons exist?
Holy shit, dude, get out of here! Oh my god, dude!
Strange things keep happening. Bizarre nightmares, as if I'm on fire.
Whoa, what the hell is this? Man, I've got bad chest pain.
Satan's Hollow is what it's called, the portal to hell.
Some people calling it an eye of fire, while others said it looked like the portal to hell opening up.
And the next thing I know, I was outside of my body, looking at my body.
What I'm going to do is called claromancy, the art of throwing lots or throwing bones.
2,000 years of experience, passed down, recorded, of how demons work.
God has them all on a leash, and he lets the leash go enough to let them tempt us, because that's what makes us spiritually stronger.
I'm trying to be as graphic as possible so you understand what we're talking about.
It's your ticket to reality. It's your ticket to freedom. It's your ticket to immortality.
Is there an afterlife? Is there a
it's
God?
The type of information that can keep you away from the Yetzirah.
What happens to us after we die?